Part 1. The silent force that commands attention. There's a type of power that doesn't shout, doesn't rush, and doesn't need validation. It walks into a room, and people feel it before they even understand it. Machiavelli would call this the art of presence, the ability to dominate without effort, to lead without words. The dark presence that controls any room doesn't rely on charm or popularity. It relies on psychological gravity. Real power doesn't announce itself, it pulls. People unconsciously orient themselves around those who appear unshaken, unpredictable, and deeply self-assured. When Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both, he wasn't glorifying cruelty. He was exposing a truth about human perception. We respect what we can't fully read. We admire what we cannot easily reach. Most people walk into a room seeking approval. They adjust their tone, posture, and opinions based on who's watching. But the Machiavellian mind does the opposite. It observes. It studies the rhythm of the room like a predator watching its prey. Every glance, every reaction becomes information. Before they ever speak, they already control the tempo. To cultivate this kind of dark presence, your goal is not to impress. Your goal is to anchor. Become the still point in the chaos. The one who doesn't rush to speak, doesn't fidget, doesn't over-explain. In modern terms, think about the boardroom, the social circle, the dating world. Power belongs to the person least affected by others. The calmest one always leads. This presence isn't arrogance. It's restraint. Every time you hold your silence when someone challenges you, every time you refuse to react emotionally to provocation, your value multiplies. Because in a world addicted to noise, composure feels like mystery. And mystery is magnetic. If you walk into a room thinking, "I hope they like me," you give up control before you begin. But if you enter thinking, "Let's see what they reveal," you've already shifted the power dynamic. The one who listens longer, watches closer, and speaks less always wins. Presence is not about attention, it's about command. The moment you stop performing for approval and start moving with quiet certainty, people feel it. The Machiavellian presence doesn't demand respect, it creates it. Part 2. Control through composure, the modern power signal. In modern society, chaos is currency. The loudest person on social media wins attention, the most emotional gets sympathy, and the most reactive seems authentic. But beneath that noise, true dominance hasn't changed. The man who controls his reactions controls his world. Machiavelli understood that power isn't about aggression, it's about leverage. Emotional control is leverage in its purest form. When others are impulsive, you wait. When they seek validation, you stay silent. When they attack, you absorb it like stone. Because every reaction you don't give back weakens their control over you. Think about any moment where tension fills a room, a heated meeting, an argument, a negotiation. Everyone feels the invisible pressure to respond, to justify, to prove. But the Machiavellian mind knows, whoever can tolerate that silence longer, wins. It's not the louder voice that controls the outcome. It's the one who stays centered. Psychological dominance isn't loud. It's unnerving. When people realize they can't provoke you, they lose interest in controlling you. That's why the most powerful figures throughout history, from emperors to CEOs, mastered emotional minimalism. Every movement, every word carried intention, never noise. Try this in your own life. When someone raises their voice, lower yours. When they brag, stay quiet. When they test you, smirk, but don't explain. You'll see it instantly. The more composed you are, the more their chaos exposes them. The more unpredictable you become, the more predictable everyone else looks. In Machiavelli's world, rulers had to project both strength and mystery to survive. In your world, it's the same. The dark presence is built through the small choices: when to speak, when to wait, when to walk away. You are training others how to treat you every time you respond. If you always explain yourself, they learn to question you. If you always justify, they learn to doubt you. But if you respond with composure, no matter what, you teach them something else, that your emotions are not for sale, and your peace is not negotiable. That is modern power. Not control over others, but control over yourself, which makes others yield naturally. The moment you master your composure, you become the gravitational center, and everyone else orbits around you. Part 3. The subtle art of psychological gravity. Every dominant presence exerts gravity. You've felt it before, the silence when a certain person walks into the room. Eyes shift toward them without anyone realizing why. Their power isn't in their words, but in the invisible field they project. This isn't magic, it's psychology. And like Machiavelli taught, true control is silent, deliberate, and almost unseen. Psychological dominance begins with perceived control. Most people reveal their emotions before they even speak. Their body language leaks insecurity, their tone begs for approval. The modern Machiavellian learns to sever this weakness. The less you react, the more others react to you. Silence, stillness, and composure create an energy people can't look away from, because unpredictability forces attention. Think of people like Elon Musk in interviews. Long pauses, measured responses, and an almost alien lack of social need. It unsettles journalists. It creates power. Or take someone like Rihanna, walking into a space without announcing herself, completely grounded, never chasing validation. That calm disinterest pulls others toward her. Both of them display an aura that says, I don't need this moment, but this moment needs me. That's gravity. To build it, you must master contrast. Most people flood spaces with noise and nervous laughter. When you speak only when necessary, every word sharpens. When you move slowly while others fidget, you become magnetic. When you make eye contact and hold it one beat longer than comfort allows, people remember your face. You've created dominance through psychological scarcity, the Machiavellian weapon of attention. But beware, power draws envy like light draws moths. A dominant aura can intimidate or inspire, but both responses feed control. Let others feel slightly off balance around you. Never be the one explaining yourself. Speak less, imply more. And when you must talk, do it like a strategist. Every sentence serving purpose, every silence stretching tension. People respect mystery far more than noise. Remember Machiavelli's rule. It's safer to be feared than loved, but best to be quietly feared without giving anyone reason to strike. Psychological gravity is not about being loud. It's about being the center even when you say nothing. The next time you enter a room, slow your breathing, lower your tone, and move as though you already own the space. Because if your mind believes it, theirs will follow. Part 4. The Machiavellian Master of the Room. Now you understand gravity, but dominance isn't just control over others' attention. It's control over your own energy. If you can't command yourself, you can't command a room. Modern psychology calls it self-regulation. Machiavelli would have called it composure under pressure. It's what separates leaders from followers, predators from prey. Every conversation, meeting, or social setting is a negotiation of control. Most people surrender at the moment they feel anxious or eager to please. Watch how someone's posture collapses when they feel inferior. Shoulders cave, voice rises, eyes dart. Subtle cues, yet everyone senses them. To own the room, your first mission is to destroy this reflex. Never chase approval. Never over-explain. Never rush to fill silence. The one who can endure discomfort wins the room. Think of Jordan Peterson debating or Andrew Tate speaking. Regardless of what you think of them, both command attention through conviction. They pause mid-sentence. They stare. They make listeners wait. That pause forces the brain to value their words more. Psychological studies show the human mind equates stillness with power. Movement signals anxiety. Stillness signals certainty. Another Machiavellian tactic, emotional detachment. The modern world rewards emotional transparency, but too much transparency hands people the keys to your mind. Learn to filter what you show. Smile less. React slower. Don't reveal when you're offended or impressed. The less people can read you, the more they project power onto you. Their imaginations fill the silence with myth. The goal isn't to fake arrogance. It's to radiate quiet control. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're giving them the chance to impress you. Whether it's a date, a negotiation, or a public speech, the frame must always be, I am the one who defines the tone here. People will test it, interrupt, challenge, or mock. But your composure will crush their attempts. Power is not taken. It's surrendered to the one who looks least interested in it. Machiavelli's prince ruled through perception. You do the same in every room. People respect those who act as if they don't need validation because it signals rare self-sufficiency. The person who can sit in silence, unshaken, is the one others orbit around. So when you walk into a room, don't try to dominate, occupy. Let your calm do the speaking, your stillness build suspense, and your presence dictate the atmosphere. You are no longer reacting to the world is reacting to you. That is the essence of modern Machiavellian dominance. Part 5. The power of controlled intimidation. Confidence without edge is merely charm. But confidence with restraint, that's intimidation. Not the loud kind, not the aggressive kind. The kind that lives in stillness, in your ability to make others doubt themselves without ever lifting your voice. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Fear and respect often grow from the same root, uncertainty. The modern world confuses kindness with weakness. You're told to be approachable, to soften your tone, to make everyone comfortable. But true dominance is born from the opposite. It's not about cruelty. It's about presence so commanding that others instinctively adjust around it. When people sense your disinterest in being liked, they begin to seek your approval. This is the silent inversion of power. Observe people like Steve Jobs in his prime, not loud, but terrifyingly focused. His mere disappointment could unnerve a room full of engineers. That's controlled intimidation, power that doesn't require noise, only expectation. Or consider Giancarlo Esposito's portrayal of Gus Fring in Breaking Bad. Calm, polite, smiling even, but behind the eyes, calculation. Everyone feels it. Everyone behaves accordingly. You must develop this same duality. The calm exterior, the sharpened will underneath. This balance is what Machiavelli called virtue, not morality, but strength of will. It means shaping your environment without brute force. You become the silent architect of others' behavior. Start with micro-control. In conversations, don't rush to agree. Let silence stretch. Make people wonder if they've said the wrong thing. This creates the subtle pressure that shifts power to you. Psychologically, humans are wired to fill silence, to resolve tension. By withholding reaction, you teach others to perform for your approval. That's not manipulation, it's gravity training. You'll find that this energy amplifies itself. The more you maintain it, the less you need to speak. The less you react, the more they interpret. Eventually, people won't remember what you said, only how you made them feel. A little unsettled, a little drawn in. That's the Machiavellian spell. But here's the warning Machiavelli would whisper to you. Never lose control of your mask. Once you cross from composed dominance into overt aggression, you lose the art and reveal the fear. Power isn't in striking, it's in knowing you could and choosing not to. The threat must remain invisible. When you've mastered this balance, your silence alone becomes a weapon. You'll find that doors open faster, people hesitate before disagreeing, and crowds adjust their rhythm to yours. Controlled intimidation isn't evil, it's awareness of energy, weaponized through calm. And once you feel that shift, when you can walk into a room and sense it slow around you, you'll understand what Machiavelli meant by ruling through perception. The people have crowned you without realizing it. Part 6. The final mask. Becoming the presence itself. The journey ends where all power does, in invisibility. The truly dominant don't act dominant. They simply are. The performance fades because the identity has fused with the aura. You no longer think about control, because control now flows through your nature. This is the final transformation, the becoming of presence itself. Machiavelli taught rulers to be both lion and fox, strength hidden beneath cunning. But modern dominance adds a third layer, serenity, the power to remain untouched by the chaos of others. You don't absorb their moods, fears, or projections. You let their storms pass through your stillness. That's when your aura becomes untouchable. The secret most never learn is that the aura you build doesn't just influence others, it reprograms your own mind. The posture of calm creates calm. The act of restraint becomes discipline. Eventually, you stop pretending to be powerful because your body, your tone, your energy have all been trained to be power. It's not arrogance. It's inevitability. Look at modern examples. Keanu Reeves, quiet, self-contained, never seeking to dominate, yet every room bends toward his peace. Or Daniel Craig in interviews, reserved, grounded, indifferent to flattery. These men project an energy that says, I am enough. No performance, just authority in its purest, quietest form. When you reach this point, dominance becomes spiritual. You're no longer reacting, proving or performing. You're simply radiating. People can sense it instantly, even before you speak. Your words cut deeper because they're rare. Your gestures feel deliberate because they're few. You've become what Machiavelli would call the unseen prince, governing not through laws or fear, but through invisible command. This is the dark presence that controls any room, not through sound, not through force, but through the unshakable sense that you cannot be moved. That is what people truly follow, not charisma, not money, but certainty. And certainty is what every human subconsciously worships. So when you next walk into a room, remember this: dominance is not about towering over others. It's about never shrinking yourself. It's not about intimidation for its own sake. It's about command through calm. You don't need to prove your worth. You are the reference point for it. Machiavelli's final lesson wasn't cruelty, it was control. The power to command perception without ever begging for it. To be both seen and unknowable. That's the essence of a dark presence. That's the aura no one can resist.